This little jumble was
This
first
is
couple.
Right, so
water. The water was kind of like these containers.
So it's after you landed, right?
Into each other.
Ah.
So they're kind of like receiving and tipping.
But that's not right at the beginning. What's right at the beginning?
Oh, so that kind of thing was improvised.
We're in creative development at the Albany Entertainment Centre, and this is the first chance to bring together artists that are working across the Gondwana Link, who will be working on different sites, and we're coming together to test a way of working that is highly distributed and collaborative. What's been happening is we have been delving into these containers of knowledge that have been curated for us, that are filled with really different material about the themes that we're exploring, to do with the environment, to do with hope, to do with agitation, to do with history. And then the artists are delving into those containers and then being inspired by them, making what we call stems. So dance material, music, sound material, visual material. They're making these fragments, and then today we have actually been blending different artists' stems to help realise some ideas of what each chapter of the performance will look like. So 5 chapters that stretch across 15 days, start in Margaret River, end in Kalgoorlie, and they all will weave together and have a relationship with each other, and that's what we're trying to work out how that will happen. So just conscious of the time, and would like to just see like a sketch of what we're going to show. Okay, is there more development for Kalgoorlie?
We have about 5-10 minutes more development, and then we're going to set it. So we're just playing with this broad structure where it's the emu's arrival into Kalgoorlie, and then there's a series of ant scores that have been developed over the past 2 days. That breaks down, we emerge into the cacophony of the birds, which has structured the entire 5 regions from the beginning. And then it ends in this duo with Janine and with Russell, which is this kind of hope smear duo, it's called.
You will really that as the full.
So this is just the emu.
As a dramaturg, my role is mainly around supporting artists and Annette herself. That's quite complex in a project that is distributed in large scale, and you know, for me the project is about land and country and all those different meanings, and so the real dramaturg in some sense has to be the country and its meanings.
Alright, so we have someone walking, we have the hands, you know how initially when we first started with all of this stuff, that is focused around the feet and on the feet.
So my name's Russell Thorpe, and I'm a dancer collaborator for this project, Distributed 15. I worked with Annette earlier this year on the Beauty Index, and have been invited into the studio to kind of be a physical representation of some of the ideas and concepts that are being thrown around in the studio. Beautiful thing about the way that Annette works and the environment in which she creates is this real kind of sensitivity, but with an idea of play. Everyone's voice can be heard and everyone's interpretation is valid.
Yeah, so the 2 hands have got to stay in relationship with it. Yeah. Hey guys, just a pause. So yeah, you want that?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
I think it's that real idea of the generosity of giving and sharing that comes out quite naturally in the body. that space and that experimentation is really key to those concepts kind of having a life, and there's a narrative, there's a through line, that there's a relationship for all of the ideas, all the concepts that then feed into this kind of wealth of knowledge of the body.
Yeah, that's lovely. And then you get that really gorgeous contrast of like, it's almost like it goes from the kind of the linear animal, and then in the second bit into the human. You know, we get this nice contrast in the relationship. Yeah. Let's quickly review Margaret River.
And things that were coming down.
What was it, Russell? Where was
Yeah, I remember this, and then
So was I just still perhaps, and then I offered.
But then
I remember that.
offered.
Did like a broken then we did it again.
Then it ended up moving to you, didn't it? But then we ended up moving our star beings, and we had our languages of the fire was going and the rocks.
That's right, because you ended up like this.
So I'm Sky River, and I live in Margaret River, Wudijak Bilya, which is Wodandi Budja. I'm doing visual design in this show. I love the fact that it's not a human-based story. So much drama that we explore in contemporary human stories are all human drama based, and they focus on a very short amount of time, which is generally the last few hundred years, and all about human histories and issues and feelings and dramas, whereas this work's actually stepping outside of that narrow human perspective and looking at old time, the wise old earth that has granite embedded in it that's been here for billions and billions of years. And it's a story that acknowledges the sea, and it acknowledges the stars, it acknowledges the bird's song and all the many beings that we share this planet with.
Performances are going to be performed by the people of those communities. They have their own relationship and connection to those places, and so the material is adapted and transformed by them. And what we are experimenting here today is not the final thing. The final thing will come from the people and the site. The place will tell us in the end what it needs, what kind of dance, what kind of sound is right for that particular place.
You know, one of the things I was really interested in exploring, one of the musical ideas I had was to use rhythms, like natural rhythms that I could find, you know, whether it be maybe the rhythm of a bird's repeat or some rustling sounds, you know, the kind of things that, you know, maybe a branch smacking against another branch or something that create these kind of rhythms. And I thought I could explore that. But now that I'm out here, one of the things I've discovered is that I'm not really finding much rhythm. It's very still. It's so still. And that's an amazing discovery, because I didn't know that really. How I'd imagine this place is different. It's so different to what it is. I'm thinking maybe getting some I'd like to hear the wind rustling in some leaves and potentially get something from that. So maybe find a suitable little spot to put this and plonk it and walk away for a moment maybe.
experimenting with eyes, and
Yeah, we should do more.
that accentuates this kind of celestial being a little bit. I think it works.
But it's good to know. We should try and
That's right.
frame.
That's right. And I think, because like yesterday when I separated, you hovered and then came back.
Yeah.
And it you kind of didn't come, so I was like, oh, I have to find a way back in.
Yeah.
So here's a picture. And I think these, with how you're saying around, you know, focusing around this space, from like the shoulders up. What's important to the project is that it succeeds or fails based on the shared amount of responsibility and care for it, and so working in partnership with lots of different organisations and communities is how we will do it. Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you. Oh, I think I'm surprised that it's working. It's working because the artists are so generous. The thing about how we're working when we work in this really shared collaborative way is, as artists, we bring ideas, we also surrender the ideas to the process and to the room, and we allow the ideas to be adapted and change. And that's a really big act of generosity, and especially today I've really felt that. And that's a key ingredient I guess I kind of suspected we needed to have, but we absolutely need to have, and it exists in this project. Yeah, so... and then every now and then, you know, having one come down and kind of like...
Do the ant.
Connecting. Oh, is that an ant? That's cool. Oh, cool. An ant person. Yeah, that's so cool.
One other suggestion I was thinking, maybe it worked if